Hi everyone, so I have an Ulta haul for you today. This may be separate or combined depending on how long I ramble from my Sephora sale haul. I think I ended up talking way too long in that one, so I'm going to do them separately, but if it's not too long, I'm going to jam them together. So first thing, I'm just going to address my face because now I've done like 2 videos without talking about it and it is a mess. So what I bought during the Ulta 20% off, they had a platinum perk type thing for a 20% off everything coupon, and I got this NYX Total Control drops in pale. I had swatched this and thought, oh, this formula does not work for me because it kind of it felt very silicone-y and sort of slippy, but also kind of dry, and but the color was so light that I really decided, let me give this a try. I need to maybe just get it to review on my channel because I feel like if you're much lighter than me, this might be a good option for you if you can get the formula to work. And I thought maybe I could use it to lighten my foundation since it has a more yellow base, even though it's like so fair. Maybe it would add some yellow and lighten existing foundations for me because I enjoy a more yellow base to help with the redness and match my neck, which is a little bit more on that kind of cool yellow tone. But man, I am really trying to make this stuff work for me, and so far I have not been super successful. I mixed this today with the Revlon Color Stay Combo Oily in 110. While this formula has never worn that great on me, I have tried mixing it with my ultimate favorite Lancome Tint Idol Ultra. I'm trying. In 90N. This is my favorite formula. It's too warm, peachy, and a little dark for me, so I thought, oh, this is a perfect candidate. Maybe I can add a little bit of the NYX into it and it will lighten it up a little, makes it a little thinner because it is such a runny formula, and add a little bit more of that yellow tone. But I mean, that combo wears better than this current combo, which is a mess. I mean, I applied it, so it has been a while, but not that long. So 7:30 to 2:30, I mean, 7 hours ago. I know, I have high standards, but when you start the day early, you kind of have expectations that's going to last a long time. So I have not blotted, and I did fail to set with powder, but I don't think it would have prevented all this weird separating and oil breakthrough. I mean, maybe it would keep it on my face a little bit longer, but that color stay, even when I use, you know, the best combination of products I can to get things to stick to my face, it just always breaks down on me. I hadn't bought it in a long time, and there was buy one get one 50% off at Target, and you know, they have really good base prices, so I do usually, if I see a sale at Target, I will jump on it there. So I picked that up, and one of the HD liquid lipsticks, which I've been really happy with, but so far I haven't been super excited. It is a little bit dark in that 110 Ivory, and it did not mix well with this. It's kind of like, I've got a lot of flaky situation. I barely have anything left on my nose now. I mean, it's a mess. It really is a mess. So yeah, those drops. I really want to try to make them work. So NYX had a buy 2 get 1 free, and combined with the sale, the 20% off, that was a pretty good deal, obviously. So I got the NYX Stay Matte but Not Flat powder because Vintage or Tacky, Cora had said that this was a really great powder foundation, and the shade is Ivory, which is an online only color. Oh, I didn't even realize there was a little sponge down there. I have not used the sponge, though I bet it would give me a lot better coverage than I've had. I just haven't had much success getting much coverage out of this powder. I do like the finish. What she said is it was a very natural finish, something kind of akin to the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural, which I have used one up of in Lite. It's expensive. I'd rather find something drugstore equivalent. And what did I decide I was going to buy? Oh, I think I'm going to try out the Studio Fix in NC10 and see how that is. one day when they have a sale again. So anyway, since I blotted, I'm going to go ahead and try to put some of this on with the sponge, since that should give me some amount of coverage. But it's going to look more powdery, obviously. You can see, getting a little more. Ugh, my nose is a mess because it's like oily, but then the top half is all flaky. Oh, this feels pretty dry. I think this is more powder than my face can really handle. Ugh. Alright. Applied with a brush, you know, I get a lot less, and I think it looks a little more natural. Oh my god. My face. My face. See, this is what happens when foundation is not sitting well. I can't touch up because this will happen. Let's see if I can focus here. Can you see how it's like sitting in the pores right there when I touched up? I hate that. That makes me insane. Let's see if you can see how flaky it is. Like on the sides of my nose here, it's all flaky. And my chin, oh my gosh, this is where the baby scratched me because he was mad about a diaper change. We're having some issues with not scratching people and not clawing people because you're mad. And then I've got like perennial flakiness around my nose. Ugh. This is like an up-close view of what's wrong with my face. My favorite drugstore powder is the L'Oreal True Match in W1, but it doesn't have a ton of coverage either. But I feel like the finish can look a little bit better than the NYX because I don't know. There's something about the NYX that I'm not totally sold on. I haven't found a good way to use it yet. So let me see if I can compare the colors. I think the NYX has a little bit more of a warm tone to it. Maybe a little bit, tiny bit darker. The L'Oreal is very light, but there isn't, it's hard to get much coverage out of it. So let's see. This is the NYX, and then right here is the L'Oreal. So the other NYX thing that I got during the buy two get one free is this NYX Duo Chromatic Illuminating Powder. None of the colors they had, except for this one, really seemed like it was unique to what I have. And it is in Twilight Tint, so it has kind of a blue reflect to it. I think it's just blue. Yeah, it's a little different than anything else I really have. And I do have highlight on already, but I've really liked taking a fan brush. In general, I don't really love fan brushes for applying, but then I feel like I get it in a good spot, and then I can kind of buff it in, and it sits really nicely on my face, surprisingly. The difficulty has been finding a look where it looks like the color tone makes sense, since it is a cool tone, and in general, like everyone else, I've been wearing really warm looks. But so far I've been super pleased with it. I think the formula is really nice. So if there is a color that you're interested in that formula, I would definitely recommend it. Another thing I got were two benefit things. Hoola Lite, just because I was really intrigued. Since I've gotten the Kat Von D locket in Light 41, I was really interested in actually using a bronzer, which is kind of shocking. And when I swatched this in store, it seemed quite yellow, and I thought that would be a good way of warming up that very light, very more cool toned foundation, which is too light for me, I would say. And here is Hoola Lite. I have worn it a few times. I haven't worn it with a Kat Von D Light 41 yet, so I'm going to try that out. I have used like a stippling brush and also this brush. I feel like I end up using a little bit too much in kind of a weird area when I use this brush. And I really do not enjoy how scented it is because I don't love the scent of it. But so far I'm pretty pleased with the bronzer itself, since it is light enough and seems to be a good color tone for me. So I think I am going to keep it. The other thing I got was their Real Big Sexy Lip Kit, which has 4 of their kind of somewhat gimmicky, one of them's not in here, lip colors, which have kind of like to do an ombre lip, and they're really tiny. So they have a little liner on the top or the bottom, whichever way you flip it, and then a lipstick, more of a regular lipstick color, though I think these are both really lipstick formulas. So far the two I've tried have worked pretty well, though they didn't really go with the face I had, so I'm not going to really judge them yet until and I do find that it helps if you really kind of press your lips together to kind of blend the line between the two. I'm not sure how I feel about these yet, but so far I'm intrigued. So, and I feel like with 20% off and it being something like $29 for 4 of these lip colors, it ended up being a pretty good deal. Something I have not tried yet, but I'm curious to say the least, is the Model's Own Lip Finale Liquid Lip Sealer. I was looking for the one that Sephora had. It was like no cosmetics, I think, lip whatever, and it's supposed to make your whatever lipstick you're wearing to be transfer proof. Just because I have a baby who likes to grab my face, hence the scratches, and just I generally get bumped around a lot having 2 small children that I'm home with all day, so having something that makes any lipstick I'm wearing transfer proof or highly transfer resistant is very intriguing. And since Model's Own is, you know, the no cosmetics thing was not available on Sephora anymore, and this was only like $8 and I was getting a discount, I thought it was worth trying. There were a couple reviews I think that said it worked well, so whatever. Another thing I picked up was the OFRA NikkieTutorials collection. That it came up, I think maybe the last day of the discount for me, and so I was really curious to try it out. I was concerned that the highlighter was going to be too metallic, but it turns out that it actually works pretty well for me. I really wanted to try out the Nude Potion liquid lip, and I have worn this quite a few times. If I have an actual Instagram post with me wearing it, I will include that. I know I have one with this Coven, which is the metallic brown. I think this is very cool, though I did end up wearing this to the park one day, which was slightly awkward, and met 2 parents that I know there. You know, it's a little intense for a day at the park. And the only one I haven't really worn much, well, for any amount of time, is Spell. I put it on, but it really didn't go with the face that I had. I find, you know, oranges really need to, for me, it's not something I can just kind of throw on with whatever. I need to have kind of thoughtfully done my face with the idea of wearing a very bright orange lip. But those are pretty exciting. And then the highlight wheel is in Everglow, and because, you know, it is Nikkie and she goes for the maximum glow, I was concerned that I wasn't going to be able to wear these without it being super metallic, because that doesn't look so good on my face. And while you can definitely go very metallic, I find that these go on lightly well as well. So that's another thing that you could probably do with a fan brush. I haven't tried it because I've had a good amount of success with other brushes. And what I've been doing is just mixing the 2 lightest shades. I find the lightest shade, the white, to be a little bit too white for what I usually want. So I've been mixing the 2. The medium one is a little bit dark for me in general, even though it's like super reflective. But so I find that I can get a nice sheen without it being like full on metallic, where it's going to really enhance those fine lines I have on the tops of my cheeks. So I've been really happy with this. I think it's a very good deal. And because they are so pigmented and soft, I really like how they work as eyeshadow as well. In general, I don't find that to be super compelling, but since I've been using it as a highlight too, it's all in one. It's a small little compact. It actually works out pretty well. I was concerned it wasn't going to be super practical, but I find that it's been really nice. So I'm really pleased with that and happy to support a YouTuber in their collaboration. Let's see. I think I only have a couple things left. Maybe just this. I had swatched this in the store. I was really intrigued by the name, Urban Decay Rehab Makeup Prep Hot Springs Hydrating Gel. So far, I so I swatched it on my hand, and then I was doing like makeup swatches on top of it, and I felt like it really moisturized my hand quite nicely. My hands are always really dry, and it seemed to be a nice surface for makeup. On my face, I'm not really sure that it's that noticeably different than something like my CeraVe PM, which I often use as an extra layer of moisture on my dry areas. I think Colin's getting a little bored here. So I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I would be happy to use up this entire jar as just kind of an additional moisturizer before makeup, but what it comes down to, and something that I was just kind of in denial about when I bought it, is that at the end of the day, I have to put on SPF. So what am I going to do? Put this on top of the SPF? That seems unlikely. So then I'm putting it under the SPF, and how much of a difference can it really make as like kind of a priming step if it's under my SPF? But when I put it on top, it just feels like it's such a watery, thin consistency when you rub it in that I'm concerned that maybe it's going to move the SPF around. I don't know. Maybe I should just, in my mind, say, oh, it's a primer. I don't know. I really don't know that this is any better than just a regular moisturizer. But I was just really pulled into the name, the feeling, the texture. It is very lovely, and it feels kind of high-end, but I don't know that it's really worth it. So still on the fence about that one. Oh, you know what? Something I forgot to include in my Sephora haul is this Dinoplatz lip balm, and this is in number 1 Spilled Wine. They have a really limited display of, is it like their Scouted by Sephora display, something like that. And I had a deluxe sample card of these. I wouldn't say deluxe sample, a sample card of these that came with many uses in the little bubble thing. And this is the one I had used up completely, and the smell, it smells like a fruit snack or something, very pleasant. And I really like the color, and the texture is kind of like a jelly. It gives kind of a, just like a stain on your lips. And the big difference for me is that it really feels hydrating. Colin really wants to use it. You can put your finger in, but let's be gentle. And then you can put some on your lips. Or above your lips, you know, whatever. So it's really moisturizing, which to me is the kind of notable thing, because often, well, it's very comfortable and not drying. For me, tinted lip balms tend to be drying and kind of uncomfortable, which is weird. It's worse than wearing a lipstick most of the time. My only complaint is this packaging. The lid doesn't really seem to like screw on or attach firmly. So I am concerned it's going to dry out, though my little sample card had no, you want one? Last dip? So yeah, that formula I find to be quite nice and comfortable on my lips, which are chronically dry. I don't know what it is in the ingredients. As I recall, I looked at the ingredients and didn't see anything that was super different from other lip balms, but for whatever reason, it sits really nicely on my lips, which I very much appreciate, just because my lips are constantly flaky and unhappy. So, either I cut this down and mashed it all together, or this is a separate Ulta haul. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you have any questions about the products or anything else below. I would love to hear from you. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.